In the bottom left side, we got ourselves a blue Protoss player fighting for no team. No, wait, actually, that's false. I was thinking of the other Protoss I was meant to come on. This is the Good Game Gaming. Patience. Almost sat parting as well. That would have been embarrassing. Top right side, the red Terran player. He is teamless, and he is BYUN. I always like it when Parting and BYUN play, because they are both the teamless players. Zest was as well, so that was interesting. Is it just me, or does it seem like players start performing a little bit better when they are on a new team? Like when they join a new team, do you think that a player starts performing a little bit better? It's usually what I think I'm seeing in a lot of players, at least. Maybe not every single one, but it's like they want to really prove themselves that, you know, this team that picked them up made a good investment into them. By picking them up. It's another command center. And another Nexus. BYUN needs a team. I think BYUN chooses not to be in a team at this point. BYUN is one of those players that could get a solo team, right? Like Cyril, pretty much. He's that much a fan favorite. So triple Rex opening here for BYUN. Looks like he's gonna start things off the hard way. Whereas Patience, he's opening up the more standards kind of, well, I say more standards. It's both kind of standards, isn't it? Well, both players are doing, but it's only because BYUN made it standard, to be fair. And this triple Rex, not something you see all the time before his return. Although there were some lower tier like GMs as well. Right, not the highest tier GMs, you know, the top pro players, but players there as well that were experimenting with this type of stuff and were having some marginal success with it. But maybe because people in a lower tier were playing it, was taken less into account as something potentially worth looking into more. I don't know. Or maybe they just weren't aware of it as much. All busy doing their own thing, right? Now BYUN bringing it in, and a lot of people liking the strategy. Showing everybody the way on how to do it as well. First tag on these Marines. Sees the trail of other Marines that are still coming in afterwards as well. The missile turret does get completed. This is what BYUN was really trying to do, of course. Big attack right now. He does have combat shields, he does have stim, but so far not really feeling like pushing up there. Makes sense with the trap as well and the shield battery. Might become difficult to do. BYUN stimming to get away. Trying to go back in as soon as the Protoss army leaves, but Protoss army not going anywhere. Probably just trying to get on top of the probes there, but no success. To no avail. Maybe with more overall units, who knows? Maybe that's going to do the trick here. We still have no third base after all for BYUN, so he has to do something pretty soon. We'll start his third base at least pretty soon. He's losing SCVs. Oh boy, he's losing SCVs. Multi-pronged aggression here from BYUN. Gonna try to hit this third base from 2 angles. Could be pretty good because of those sentries there, of course. Let's see which side hits first. Looks like that will be the right side. That's the first stim. Rest of the force there. Mostly... oh, there's still a status trap. A lot of them get caught. Shield battery right there. That is rough. That is rough. He entirely forgot about the status trap. He saw it before with the scan and he entirely forgot about it. This could have been a lot more lethal otherwise. Ooh, gets on top of the Immortals. That's a good pick of. Maybe a couple of Stalkers as well. There we are. Even the Oracles have to be brought back home. One of those will fall as well. So this aggression finally does get pinched out. Goes across with 2 medevacs. Oracle's almost on the path of intercepting that, being able to see it, but so far not going to be the case. Patience though. Wondering where he will put his army. He's debating on where he should put his army. Guess he kind of wants it in the middle here. Not quite entirely certain where the next place will be. BYUN will strike, and it looks like he made his made a good bet with this one. Blink not ready just quite yet. Lucky date for those medevacs. Ooh, Oracle here being intercepted by another drop of units. Another Oracle getting intercepted actually, and that also goes down. 2 more Oracles fall. That's all the Oracles that are left, so no more status traps to save Patience bacon. Or, well, mineral line, which is basically your bacon, right? Gateway and Cybercool managed to get picked off here. So we have somewhat of a doom drop coming by. The Hallucinated Phoenix having difficulty just barely picking this up perhaps. Although he does have a good force there. Does have a really good force there. If those Stalkers get underneath, snipe one of the medevacs out straight off the bat. That could be really good. Doesn't seem like that is going to be the case, but you know what, BYUN realizes that it's not a place where he wants to take that fight. Have to look into plan B. Plan BYUN. So far, not entirely certain what it will entail. It looks like a couple of extra Vikings in his army composition, ready to take out those Colossi. As Patience, he's adding in another Robo and a Dark Shrine right now as I'm speaking. Disruptors, okay. So it will be the Colossi Disruptor army. 3 Colossi and then just the Disruptors, I believe. Well placed Widow Mine here. It's going to delay any expanding. Will have to be addressed. It's already moving in. There we are with a Observer as well. Should be able to handle that quite handedly. Although BYUN already getting in positions here now as well. Seeing that that Widow Mine went off. Realizing that his opponent is looking for a 4th base. Realizing that more weaknesses might open up elsewhere. So Salad, a good scout. Marine getting sacrificed as well. Sensing out where the opponent is and trying to figure out where the opportunities lie. That's kind of the name of the game here. But patience kind of remaining onto the 3 base, so no new opportunities really being presented to BYUN. Except for, I suppose, a couple of pylons here. And a cannon. Yeah, you know. Get something. Get something. Ooh, DTs. DTs will run past the army here, and that is looking like it got spotted. So I think BYUN will already make adjustments for his army here in its defensive setup in order to deal with the DTs. DTs coming in right now. Okay, looks like he was aware as well. Just kind of waiting for it. It's more patient than I am. Okay. Couple of SCVs already go down. 2 Marines and a bunch of SCVs carried off. Chase it away. Big stim right there from BYUN. Vikings, a good force against these Colossi so far. Not a lot of Stalkers around. There's the Stalkers, but already one of the Colossus falls. There's still 3 remaining. Still an optimal amount. And yeah, BYUN has to rethink his options here. I think he's going to need those Liberators. Something to run back into to ensure that this Protoss army will not gain too much ground using the Disruptors. DT still being traded out for a Ghost there. Oh. Surprised about these DTs continuously going after army units. Is that worth it? I'm not sure. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. BYUN kind of poking in on either side, trying to see what he can get, but whenever the Disruptor should start flying, he kind of has to run away. Oh, okay. Lucky DT. Oh, never mind. Guess not. Big fight here. Surprised that BYUN's taking this. Maybe he's looking to free up some supply for extra Vikings here. Doesn't have that many. Only 6 of them. Well, now he's adding in more Marauders and Marines also, so... not sure. Not sure. Still no Liberators though. That's the one thing I know for certain. What we are getting is nukes. Nukes will be part of the party. It's always fun having a couple of nukes around. Protoss army just in one big ball now. The Terran army still spread out. It does seem like that is the way that BYUN wants to approach this matchup right now. Or at least this game. Not really fighting a straight up battle, but more so just kind of be on 2 sides at the same time. Try to move in and out of fights whenever he sees it as necessary. The shield battery overcharge here just being too strong. Keeping those Colossi alive. The army on the left flank as well being chased quite heavily. All the way back to a planetary fortress. That's going to have to prove itself quite useful here. Medevacs trying to hide in the corner. We'll have to... yeah, okay. They did take shelter from the Stalkers. Now Now these two medevacs, they are on their way to move into this expansion, which is looking quite nice. Vikings having a rough time staying on top of those, on top of the Colossi. So the Colossi are protected by the Stalkers, and the Stalkers are protected by the Disruptors. Oh, that was a big one, wasn't it? Oh, it was. It was. Right, yeah, Disruptors here coming on in. Oh, a lot of damage is being taken. More army on the backside. They are going to be able to actually clean this up right now, it seems. The Vikings will get rid of the final Colossus, and even though a lot of SCVs have been taken out, the army supply for BYUN still pretty darn strong, as this force on the other side of the map as well. Needs to start getting everything into high gear though. Oh, losing this force right now separately, that is a rough thing. Okay, Patience also losing 13 workers though overall. The worker count not too far apart. Let's take a look at the income graph right now. Yeah, that is still very minimal here. Only 250 apart from one another. Here we are. Is this going to change it though? Of course. Will BYUN be able to take out another base? It's quite quick on the trigger with the disruptor shots. No more are remaining, and that means he's gonna have to sacrifice that base, as there were no good connections. GTs come in from the other side though, and are going to be able to do a similar thing to the base of BYUN. On the opposite side, don't quite get as much as two bases, but still a reasonable amount of SCVs get taken out. Brings in the rest of the Stalkers actually. Gonna try to bring the real pressure now. DTs are taken out quite quickly, but the rest of these forces, of course, still something to be trifled with. Although the Terran army full force comes in as well. We'll shoot this off. 8 more SCVs go down though, and that is now a fairly reasonable difference in the worker count. BYUN really good at spotting these observers and DTs, by the way. Very impressive. Disruptors looking for a shot. He's got 4 of them, so he can be a bit more quickly with the trigger. Less prone to run out when you have 4 of them. Oh, just... okay. Recalls the Disruptors, gets those out. Now the Stalkers need to get out as well, of course. Oh, it looks like that was a miscalculated move. Runs the other way. That is not going to go anywhere. Those Marauders will be able to intercept those Stalkers again. They're going to blink forwards. Ooh, Disruptors coming in to save them. Oh, that's a lot of Disruptor shots for... well, okay, he does get a lot of Marauders as well. And BYUN has to back up once again. Income advantage right now in favor for BYUN, as he does have... how many orbitals? 3 in total. So the mules are carrying it through for him right now. Uh-oh. Okay. Woo! Patience has reclaimed these 2 bases here. That is why he should be going up in the income graph momentarily. Although, to be fair, BYUN also has those bases. Yeah, they are on the same amount of bases here. Interesting. BYUN's still going for the split army play. Which, you know what, it makes it easier to play against Disruptors, I suppose. Because it's easier to spread your units when there's just less units to spread. You're less clogging yourself up, especially in choke areas and such. But... I mean, it just seems... it just seems a bit... what? Like, I'm still trying to figure out why he just doesn't want to build Liberators with this composition. Let's take a look at the units lost tab after this is settled down a little bit here. Unless if Patience just goes in chasing the entire squad of Terran. Oh. Oh, he just may. Okay, quickly. Oh, it's not that far apart, actually. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, I thought I was going to go more into Patient's favor, but not the case. So, let's see. BYUN has managed to assemble a bit more force. Bit more beef for his punch. He's just going to go for the base trade. He is running across the map. He is just gunning for it right now. Looking for any type of reinforcements. Doesn't want that army, of course, to get any stronger than it has to be. See some zealots that did manage to escape. Patience also rotating backwards with his force now. Recalling most of it. Still some small portion available on the top side. Might be something that BYUN could fight with what he has available there. But he is unaware that the army split up, of course. And kind of recalled there. 13 SCVs again go down. More worker damage for our Terran. A massive disruptor shot right there as well. More units chasing BYUN. Not having the best of time here. The rest of his forces not entirely certain where they are looking to go. The medevac count is in shambles. There's no Vikings anymore remaining either. Still no Liberators. BYUN is trying to do this entirely with just bio and medevacs. There you go. GG. GG. Patience takes game number 1. Was not anticipating that from BYUN overall, but it is what we got. It is what we got. Second game, will it go similarly? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we know BYUN plays with Liberators, right? We know he does. I guess he still does seem to struggle a little bit against the Protoss late game, especially Disruptors. Even though it felt like he was really good against Disruptors, or at least should be really good against Disruptors, as he's Micro Jackson and all. But yeah, it's still rough to say. All right, see you later, Size. Thank you for joining. Have a good one, buddy. All right. Second map, Death Aura. Of course, the best of 5, so still a lot to be decided. Can go into a 2-0 lead, can go into a 1-1. An entirely different situation. I feel like these games where you get that either the further settled advantage for one player, or one player just kind of being able to tie it up again. Those are the most crucial games to win. Here we go. In the top left side, the blue Protoss player fighting for good game gamers. 1 point on the board. Patience. Bottom right side, the red Terran fighting for no man except for himself, BYUN. Alright. And the game continues. Alright. Checking to see. I think BYUN just wants to do a regular expand. Patience here, coming in with the early probe, trying to be a nuisance. Wants to try and block off that quick expand on the low ground here, perhaps as well. Does come in for it. But not that much of a delay. Probably not as much as he was hoping for, at least. Right? Or as Protoss would hope for. Stargate play from Patience. Alright. Does seem to be just something that doesn't quite feel like worth mentioning anymore lately. But, you know, in PvT, I'd say it still is. A little bit more so, at least. BYUN just going for a regular 1-1-1 here. No crazy mass bio shenanigans this time around. That mass bio style from the previous game really intending to break open the front door of your Protoss opponents and then get yourself on top of the probe line. Kill off as many as possible. And yeah, just kind of continue onwards from there, right? With a nice advantage. You could also, I suppose, really try to just take a good trade against the gateway units. Depends on the shield battery overall, I suppose. How much is available. But yeah, just trading out positively against the gateway units already a good thing. Slows down the Protoss tech tree a bunch, as they will have to spend a lot more money on units, right? The Protoss units, they aren't cheap. They do cost quite a bit. I know they feel strong, but you know what? They do cost a bit more as well. So the more you take out, the less money there is for tacking up and such. Which is quite important. 3 Phoenixes here, full Patience already assembled, ready to intercept any drop play. BYUN attempting a drop, but not gonna go for it after seeing those Phoenixes, of course. Realizing he got blocked out of that opportunity. We'll have to come up with another plan here. Kind of transitioning into something else. Making a Raven and a reactor on the factory. Okay. Could still be Widow Mines overall. Widow Mines versus Phoenix is always a bit of an iffy one for me, but we'll see. Maybe he's gonna switch the factory over to the tech lab, actually. Yeah, that would make sense. Have that reactor for another barracks. No? No, not the case. I guess siege tanks also quite vulnerable to the Phoenix, huh? They do just tend to get picked up. Alright, well, okay. Just heavily going into the Marauders, it seems. I mean, should be good against the Colossi that I believe we're gonna have. Yeah, there it is. There they are. Sneaky buggers. Still a Raven at bottom left side as well. Could be quite useful with an attack like this. Could be incredibly useful. But with the way it's positioned, almost makes me wonder if it's going to do a different aggression all on its own. It's flying across right now. Bit iffy. It almost feels like he forgot he sent it over there. Now it's like, oh wait, I do need this with the attack right now. Hopefully it doesn't get intercepted by Phoenixes or anything of the sorts. It's waiting for it to come around. Also, of course, because it's not there right now with this attack. Not able to see this observer where he's standing under. Showcasing his entire battle plan to his opponents right here. There's the interception. Interference matrix comes down. The force fields are pretty good, but, well, he finds a way around. Oh, the anti-armor missile backfires. Will hit a lot of his own units here as well. Gets rid of the Colossus, but that's about it. We'll have to move backwards with most of everything else. The Raven also gets taken out. So the Dorito dust does settle. We are gonna have a secondary fight here, it seems, from angle 2. Angle 2 on the left side of this little ramp area. Oh, Patience. Patience falling for it, not quite being able to see this coming in. So good position acquired by BYUN. Unfortunately, his Widow Mines will not be able to secure the location just quite, because the Phoenixes were too close on top of that entire battle. And we'll be able to stop that from being able to do anything here. Some small turnarounds from BYUN, trying to have a little bit of a battle with the Phoenixes and the Stalkers that are running out in front of the Colossus without the Colossus actually being involved, but not quite managing to do so efficiently enough to really kill any of Patience's units. So yeah, Patience with that, I would say, is in a very solid position. Holding off everything that BYUN has thrown at him so far. BYUN, though, I mean, has not taken that much damage at home either. He has been able to keep a relatively solid macro going. And although we don't see a 4th base yet in the works for BYUN, he is on a solid 3 base work account here. He is still looking pretty sharp. Oh, this is scary. Oh, this is so scary. Oh, okay, just get in here. The Phoenixes are still there as well. He's completely committed to this right now. Gonna try to get as much as possible. There's no other squadron anywhere that is gonna move in on this either, as the forces of Patience will try to intercept here. The Phoenixes, I mean, the Phoenixes are the real scary part here. They are gonna be able to take out 2 medevacs before any of those units get out. And okay, yeah, was that worth it? Was that worth it? I don't think it was. I really don't think it was. Yeah, that was not worth it at all. BYUN once again having a rough time kind of really finding the value here. He likes to be aggressive, but if there's an opponent that just won't let you be aggressive, then you're just kind of slowly making it easier and easier for your opponent to win the game. If you continue along the aggression path. Okay, full-blown retreat here for BYUN. Trying to get the heck away from the firepower of the Protoss. Doing a good job so far, kind of intercepting the units that get strang along. Kind of the entire army of Patience becoming a long, strung out ball of units. Well, it's not even a ball anymore. It's just basically a full-on marching band right now. But yeah, BYUN taking full advantage of that and sniping away at some small-time units here and there that got a bit too far ahead of all the other units. So very important tiny things there, weakening Patience's army over time. Needs to heal up this army before it starts to tango with a couple of Colossi. It looks like they were recalled away from the rest of the army. The rest of the army of the Protoss looking to intercept the movements here perhaps as well, and that is exactly what they're aiming to do. The medevacs now lifting up, but that could play right into Patience's plan. It's gonna, oh, get another one of those medevacs right there. Very, very well done. And this army gets once again dismantled without being able to trade all that much. I guess they got a Nexus, but he lost the command center back at home as well. BYUN still at 75 workers, but the army here for Patience. That's the scary part, right? That army is looking scarier and scarier as time goes on. And BYUN I mean, not only are we not seeing the Liberators, we're kind of seeing him neglect the Vikings here also in order to try and stop any type of Colossus. Now, of course, that could just be a personal preference. Some people prefer to utilize Marauders for that type of thing. You stim them in and try and chase them down that way. You can play that way, but becomes a bit more difficult. Still think Liberators would be a great addition to the army of BYUN, but so far no of such of that kind being constructed. Here we go, a big push from BYUN coming in from 2 angles, but both of the angles kind of marching in too much than they can handle. Well, too much for them to handle. Here we go. Big EMPs do land. The Marauders and the Marines all very, very low as well already. I mean, the army supply for BYUN here looking somewhat reasonable, but I mean, most of that is in those medevacts up in the sky. And they are not going to be able to take out any Protoss units themselves. GG is called. BYUN takes out, well, yeah, loses another game. Oh boy. So yeah, I mean, a clear-cut case of a aggressive player. Sorry. An aggressive player not quite knowing when to settle the aggression. Not quite figuring out when not to engage. And that was one of the main attributes that I always gave BYUN. That this was one of the main things why I think he's so good. Because he doesn't go in when he cannot take the battle, when he cannot get any damage done. He doesn't sacrifice units on a whim and it's like, alright, well, let me try anyway. And then, you know, the units die and he's just behind. He's just behind because of it. Which is the sad part. Well, regardless, we're moving on forwards, guys. We got BYUN versus Patience. Game number 3 could already be the final game here, as BYUN is not having the best of time versus Patience. Patience proving a bit too much for BYUN to handle. At least in the first 2 games. Who knows? Maybe the 3rd game, we're going to see a role reversal. BYUN able to get some damage done in the early game. Maybe keep rolling off of that initial advantage with more and more aggression. But yeah, has to be careful to make sure that is all appropriate aggression. For what we saw, all the aggression kind of falling flat and making the game a little bit more doable for this man here in the blue. The Protoss from Good Game Gaming. He is Patience. Top right side, Red Terran fighting teamless. He is BYUN. BYUN. Barracks on the way for him. Typical. Patience still not sending any scout across so far, but we'll check out for any real close by proxies here. Might send this probe across, of course. Just a quick little check. Oh no, comes back around. Might go for the Nexus here at this point. Not entirely certain. Will it be Cybercore? Will be still the Cybercore. Alright, yeah, there was another probe there. Doesn't want to take the risk. I suppose he's not really scouting either, so makes sense. Didn't send a probe across. Just the real close by locations kind of got scouted there. That's about it. BYUN, seeing that there's a natural base, feeling that that is good enough for him, we'll just kind of leave the area. It's like, alright, second pylon here, second base, good enough. I know what I'm doing. At least I know, I hope he knows what he's doing. You would assume so, right? Okay. Couple of Marines at the front. So far we're only having the one barracks once again. Would assume we're gonna have the starport afterwards. Yeah, there it is. Little proxy pylon being set up by Patience here. Not too far away from BYUN. Of course it is still in the shroud, so he's not able to see it. Inu apparently not able to hear it either. Come on. Guess he just doesn't know. Oh, he gets spotted. The probe comes out. Oh, it gets him. Fair enough. We don't mind drop, and it will be against Blink Stalkers. Now, the Blink Stalkers I would still prefer to go up against rather than the Phoenix with Widowmine drop. But it's still not fantastic, right? I mean, Blink Stalkers, they do still counter aggression. That's still their job, still their thing. Unless if they go across the map themselves, then they, of course, cast aggression. But yeah. Anyway, regardless, they can be quite good. And this job in particular. So far, though, we only have... Wait, how many gates do we have? 2. Yeah, we only have the 2 gates. Okay. How many Stalkers? 3. So it's a 2-gate Blink Stalker. I mean, it should still be enough to hold off an early Widowmine drop here. Yeah. Okay. BYUN not going for a quick third command center here, pretty much at any point in time. Oh, has to be careful. Blink is now ready, so the medevacs are a bit more vulnerable. The Stalkers are roaming. How many gateways? Up to 4 now. Could see a bit of aggression coming out. Looks like BYUN fairly well placed. Siege tank right there. There we go. Already making Patience have second thoughts about his movement. Gonna try the other side. Bring in a couple of Stalkers. Perhaps some of the... Oh no, is he gonna go for the main? A question on everyone's mind. Auto turret harassment here. Nice way to continuously do damage without really having to continuously invest active resources into it. But it's not gonna stick around for too long, it seems. We'll already send that Raven back across. Or maybe just make it look like he is and have it sit in a corner there. Perfectly fine as well. Couple more gateways. Patience gets ready for taking a 4th base as well. Actually, sorry, that's the 3rd base. Third base for BYUN, surprisingly earlier on the way than the one for Patience here. Patience going for a drop play with the War Prism and finds himself quite a well exposed open natural. A couple of reinforcement units and SCVs are sent along to try and deal with it, but Patience does not spring into action with the rest of the Stalker force that was available there. will just try to move after the main force of BYUN that is coming across the map right now. That is a very, very terrifying army, especially without Storm ready just quite yet. It is going to be... That Storm is going to be ready momentarily, and we got a heck of a lot of it ready for these Marines. But until then, Patience is going to have to be very, very careful. Alright, there we go. That's the first Storm. Where's the second Storm? Good spreading so far from our Terran player. There's that Storm. Good dodge. Walks back into it for a little bit, but keeps most of his stuff alive. And there we go. GG is cold. BYUN takes a map and will not let it go to a 3-0 victory here. Guessing most of these guys are just playing standard since Katowice is so soon. Yeah, I would assume so, but we've already seen a couple of weird things here and there. Maybe people are still trying out some new strategies, trying to tweak it, you know, fine-tune it here and there. Let the build wins one. Alright, game number 4. Yeah, game number 4. 3 points given in total. Light Shade. Our next destination. We'll be looking from above, of course. Aerial satellite view, as these two players will have to try and combat one another. Force the other one into submission, of course. Alright, here we go. In the top left side, we got ourselves a blue Protoss player fighting for the good game gaming crew. He is Patience. His opponents in the bottom right side, he's the red Terran, the teamless man himself. He is BYUN. Okay. Making this somewhat of a series here. Not just letting Patience run away with the entire thing. It's always nice when that gets avoided. Would like to see BYUN be able to take it into a game number 5 as well. We did get kind of treated to a game number 5 there, the previous series, but still. Quite nice. Quite nice. Patience, once again, just looking for proxies. It seems like that is where he prioritizes the scouting. Afterwards, BYUN comes in and we'll try to have a look to see if there's a third base here. Sees the third base, gets the heck out of there. Clear pattern developing. Maybe BYUN has been able to kind of develop enough of a pattern stabilization here that he's now able to kind of figure out how he's supposed to play. Maybe some adjustments to it, just kind of a little bit better overall. Would have put him through 2 more games. I mean, he was having a rough time those first 2 games, there's no doubt about that. Patience really making it look like a walk in the park for him, as they say. Yeah, BYUN's still doing kind of the same things here, right? Gaining the factory, we'll get the starports afterwards. Widowmine drop could be a thing. Hellion drops, we haven't seen that just quite yet, so that could be the next one here as well. And we have the Twilight Council. So, similar story as the previous game here, building up so far, but A lot of chapters can go differently here, of course, now. As we've just had it develop once. An entirely new map as well. Can change the outcome here as well. Couple of gates. Stalker being annoying at the natural base of BYUN here. Does it kill anything? Nope. Doesn't seem to be the case. Kind of dancing with everything though. One Widow Mine now in the middle. Stopping this from happening. Ooh, a couple of Marines also low. Definitely a fight that did occur here. Blink coming up. So are 2 more gateways, of course, still. Which should set us up to with 3. So are we already on 4? Okay, no, 3 gateways. 3 gateways. A lot less aggressive than the previous round. Oh, but the medevac gets scouted with the hallucinated Phoenix. That's a big deal. Now, Patient's going to have a perfect time setting up his own Stalker defenses here. And just stop this medevac from doing absolutely anything at all. Yep. Sad times. Extremely sad times for the Terran. It's going to try to just get the heck out of there right now. And yeah, that's the end of the Widowmine drop already, kind of in a way. Might still attempt another roundabout. But, nah, okay. It's just going to put them into pathways where the Protoss might try to advance through. And maybe get a good shot off, right? Get a Stalker, get something nice. A bit of splash damage to the overall thing. But most importantly, just be aware of what the army is doing. Where it's moving towards and what's going on in the map. Map awareness, guys. That's one of the main things in StarCraft 2, of course. Just being able to know what your opponent is doing. Stimpack and +1 coming up for BYUN here. Still a bit of a ways off though, of course, so might still be a little bit before he really starts getting aggressive. That is, again, an unfortunate maneuver from the medevac. Oh, that is going to go down. Oh, that is rough. That is extremely rough. Did it not have his boost anymore? I don't think it did. That, oh man, that is not a good sign. That is not a good sign for BYUN here. Again, everything he's doing is just being spotted out instantly and shut down severely. In particular, that medevac drop right there. That was with... Look at this! Look at that! That is... Oh, God. Just... He leaves the base for 1 second and Patient's like, oh, okay, hello. Oh, you're trying to go over here? Alright, well... Let me set up some units then. Oof. Well, BYUN's still going to go for the attack, of course. Kind of what he has to do. He has a marginal lead in the army supply here. So it could be an alright event for him. But with the new amount of forces coming in as well here for Patience, you start to wonder. Now, those Zealots, of course, they don't have charge just quite yet. So that's a really good thing here for BYUN. But it seems like BYUN is struggling to find a good place to put up his siege tanks. And yeah, it's just going to kind of back up away from that entire situation there. We'll have to go into the macro game. Makes himself a 3rd base and... Well, has to come up with a plan B. Plan BYUN once more. Man, Patience just has observers everywhere now. I was praising BYUN for being able to see all those observers continuously, but Right now, he's just not been able to see them at all. Maybe Patience nicely adjusting kind of where they would normally be and where he's placing them right now, and still getting an enormous amount of information. Spectacular amounts, really. Bit of a battle in the middle. Nice force fields. Chopping up the army of BYUN here. BYUN getting more forces together. Oh, it could be a good moment for him. Doesn't quite get down the rim there. Great force fields once again. So Doom Drop will commence. Again, getting spotted here by another invisible unit to DT this time around. Patience, once again on the case. Another unit spotting this. Yeah, man, Patience. This is just his game. He has had so much, I don't want to say luck, but he has just had so many moments where these observers are in just the best spot they can be. I'm sure a degree to luck is, it comes down to a degree to luck as well, of course, but it's also just being able to have all those observers there at these moments in time, being able to see everything that's happening on the minimap, being able to react to it in time, all these things while doing all the other stuff that is required in StarCraft 2 as well. Very impressive. BYUN only now realizing, wait a moment, there is in fact observers out on the map. Oh, a couple of SCVs go down. One zealot there. That's about it. I think I still have the same question, guys. Are we going to see Liberators this time around? Or are we not? To be fair, we have... Oh, okay, no, wait, there are Disruptors. 4 Disruptors. I wanted to make the case if there's no Disruptors, there's not that much need for Liberators, but... Well, I mean... Oh! Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts. Patience gonna take bases there now. It's alright, this base is mine now. Oh, did something happen to your army? Oh my. What a shame. Two scrambles happening at once here. BYUN looks like he wants to have the attention on the top. Looked like Patience wanted to have his attention on the bottom, but moves back around with his Protoss force on the bottom so he can actually keep his top force safe as well. And there we go. There's the Liberators. BYUN going for it. Finally, we have the badass single target fire DPS that we have kind of been missing here for BYUN. Chasing down a couple of Colossi here as well. Good amount of Stalkers also up for the taking, I suppose. May as well. The Stalkers still going to have a rough time fighting against this amount of bio. Especially with the medevacs there. BYUN does not want to take the risk. He's just going to move backwards after picking off those Colossi. I mean, that's fine as well. Just regroup with the rest of the forces. Those siege tanks there should be more than capable pushing this backwards. There we go. Now, Patience is taking severe amounts of the map, to be fair, right? He has successfully taken one of the bases off of BYUN, in a way. Ooh, nice siege tanks volleys. But yeah, because the bottom left side pretty much already in Patience's control. And if he does manage to set up shop over here as well, could be big amounts of trouble for BYUN. BYUN does get on top of it though, needs to do his scan before he loses too many of his bio forces. Already losing a bit too many. Those DTs, they do kill you off very, very quickly. Now the entire army for Patience on top of the high grounds here at the third base of, or the fourth base, I believe, for BYUN. It is a planetary after all. Being quite heavily punished for trying to push out in this location here. More liberators, there we go, that's what we need right now. Needs to start either pushing in or start putting pressure onto some other location. So far, BYUN just kind of seeming to struggle to find a good way to approach the fight here. So army supply is not as high as that of Patience. That could have something to do with it here, of course. Maybe he wants to have to fight together with a planetary fortress there as well. Oh, those disruptor shots doing real good damage. Once more, the liberator zone's not quite set up. Yeah. There we go. He sets up the liberators. The army of the Protoss backs up. It's kind of the plan. Planetary fortress here will be taken out quite quickly. As the DTs, they melt everything. Patience, he might be doing it, guys, here, as things are looking quite dire for BYUN. He's struggling. Disruptors, some of them get taken out. One of them still manages to get a good shot off there. BYUN reclaims his space, but still he's in a situation where he's one entire base down on overall available minerals. He's losing the siege tanks protecting this base against the Stalker ball as well. And he's trading unfavorably overall. Losing even more bases right now. More bases that could potentially be taken by Patience to further his lead into even crazier numbers. And there we go. Well, guys, the Nexus falls, but look at this army from the Protoss that is coming in as well. We know BYUN is struggling for money. Strapped for cash. While Patience is sitting on a pretty comfortable bank. Reasonable comfortable bank. And it's almost maxed out on supply. He's not even sure what he wants to build at this point in time anymore. He's like, 11 supply, what would I do with this? Might just be saving it for some sort of an counter-attack. Maybe a big drop play. So he has a warp in available. Something like this could be, of course, the case. Wouldn't be the worst idea overall. Carriers also in the mix. Oh, there we are. That's the DTs. That's the reason why. He wants to do big DT attacks. Alright, DT attack on the bottom. Main attack on the top. Well, I say attack. It's more so a defensive move here. I guess he still has the carriers coming in from the top as well. This is the scariest part, that BYUN feeling uncomfortable fighting an army where most of the supply is, well, not most, but a lot of the supply is stuck into carriers and DTs doing multi-pronged aggression on entirely different sides of the map. And yet still he feels uncomfortable to deal or try to take a fight with the main force of the Protoss here. It is quite a struggle. Taking more damage from a disruptor. And more damage. More and more attacks are just coming in from Patience on every which angle. Patience needs to be careful not to be too cost inefficient, of course, as well, but I mean, he does seem to be doing pretty darn good with what he has. A gazillion Dark Templars coming in from the north. Not even bothering going for planetaries or command centers. They are just moving along, killing everything that dares to stand in their way. Blinking out of the scan here. There should be another scan available, if not an EMP. And the DTs get killed. I don't get much done of anything, but I suppose if it doesn't do that, it kills your morale, really. Realizing that your opponent is capable of doing something like that. And kind of get away with it as well. BYUN not giving up, wants to remain in his tournaments, good for everyone, but I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure if he will be managing a comeback here. It is looking incredibly rough. Look at those bases for Patience there as well. GG is called.